Hi there, and thanks for clicking on the video. So here we have footage of Sarah's UK driving test. I've edited the footage, and any minor faults are shown amber. Any particularly good bits are shown green. On my last video, I asked you if you want me to speed up certain parts of the video, and the majority of people wanted this, so I've sped up certain parts of the video, only keeping the more interesting bits at normal speed. Make sure you also watch the video to the end, where I'll go through some misconceptions, such as should you press the button in when applying the handbrake, and does it matter if you over rev? That being said, let's get to the video. As Sarah heads out of the test centre, she'll be turning left. In fact, you'll always be turning left when heading out of the Crawley Test Centre. Technically, it's a no right turn. Rewind the video and see if you can spot the no right turn sign. It's a bit twisted round, but you might just about see it. Here comes the first major roundabout. Sarah gets asked to turn left, first exit. So she checks our mirrors, signals left. She then keeps to the left lane well, keeping near the curb, slowing on approach, scanning to the right. Her view's a bit blocked here by the blue one. She then sees our gap and then takes it. Turning left takes her onto a slip road onto a 70-mile-an-hour dual carriageway. She gets her first minor here as she's a bit slow to build speed. We need to build speed on the slip road to match the speed of the traffic already on the dual carriageway. We can see Sarah's going a bit slower than the speed of the traffic on the dual carriageway. We see lorries going faster than her. Sometimes these lorries might not move to the middle lane like they did here to help Sarah, so if we haven't built enough speed we would have found it very difficult to merge. Once Sarah's on the dual carriageway, she cancels her signal well, and then the examiner says to Sarah, we're only going to the dual carriageway for a short while, for about half a mile. We'll be taking the next exit for Hand Cross. This is a subtle hint from the examiner to say to you, don't bother overtaking anyone, there's not time to do it. As Sarah passes the 300-yard marker, she puts her left signal on and maintains a high speed. We don't want to start braking at this point and slowing our speed too much, as this will disrupt the traffic on the fast-moving road. Once she crosses a dotted line for the slip road, she cancels her signal, and then she starts to reduce our speed. This is what the slip road off is for reducing your speed. She also maintains a good position here, keeping to the left lane, as the right lane is for overtaking or turning right. Now for the show me question. The examiner asks Sarah to show me how to wash the front windscreen. Sarah operates the control well and washes the front windscreen. Further down the road, we notice slow written on the road. Also we notice a sign on the lamppost on the left saying kill your speed, as well as white fence posts on the left and right. Sarah notices all these clues and realises the speed limit is changing to 30 miles an hour. She checks our mirrors and slows to 30 before she reaches the sign. At the roundabout, turn left, first exit, says the examiner. Sarah checks her middle and left mirror, signals left, checks to the right and starts to slow to give way to the traffic coming from the right. Changes to first gear and then proceeds when it's safe to go, noticing the national speed limit sign as she enters the new road. She does very well on the country road, having good speed, so getting up to 50-60 miles an hour on the straights, and then slowing for the corners or when the road narrows. She also maintains good position throughout the drive on the country road, keeping in the middle of her lane. We can see slow on the road, so what does this mean? It means there's a T-junction coming up. The examiner asks Sarah to turn left, first exit. After checking her mirrors, she signals left and then slows and then she noticed to her right her vision's very poor, so she makes a good decision to decide to stop fully. This is not hesitation, this is being safe. The vision to the right was incredibly poor. You can only see about 5 car lengths to the right, and the speed of the traffic is 50 miles an hour, so cars can appear very, very quickly. Sarah is now asked to take the second road on the right, immediately after the pub into the pub car park. Having checked on mirrors and signalled right, Sarah slows down to give way to the oncoming traffic, selects first gear, and waits for it to be safe to turn in, being very mindful that oncoming traffic could be coming very fast. Now I'd like to drive forwards into any bay in the car park, on your left or on your right, it's up to you. Good positioning here from Sarah as she swings out to the right to give herself a better angle to pull into a space on the left. And she nails it and gets into the bay perfectly first time. Once she has stopped, Sarah takes her time to adjust her mirrors to make sure she's definitely in the lines. You don't want to not be inside the lines and then fail for that. The examiner then asks Sarah, "Are you happy?" Sarah replies, "Yes, I'm happy." "Thank you," says the examiner. "Please could you now reverse out of the bay, steering to the left, and then we'll head out the car park." Some great observations here from Sarah as she checks her right blind spot, right mirror, middle mirror, road ahead, left mirror, and then looking at her left blind spot, then she starts to back up out of the space, steering to the left. The examiner now starts up the sat-nav and says to Sarah, "We're now going to follow the sat-nav until I direct you otherwise." As she tries to pull away, she forgets to add gas and does stall. This does also then cut my camera out, which explains why we have a jump cut here. As you can see here, Sarah is looking to turn right. She does well to slow right down and come to a stop at the junction, as remember, we're merged onto a fast moving road, and our vision to the left is restricted due to the van. The vision to the right is also a bit restricted due to the building, the pub. So please do remember again, this is not hesitation, this is being safe. Merging onto a fast moving road is a very high risk situation, so you need to take your time to make sure you're definitely pulling out into a safe gap. The sat-nav says, "Cross the roundabout and take the second exit." The sign, however, says straight ahead is first exit, there is no exit to the left. This does cause a bit of confusion, so understandably, Sarah slows down to make sure she knows where she's going. She just doesn't want to make a mistake. However, the examiner gives this as a minor for undue hesitation, as she slows right down and almost stops when it's clear to the right. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit. So as Sarah approaches the roundabout, she looks for her road markings. She keeps the left lane well here, but then notices the road markings here are a bit late and has to steer across the middle lane. She does check her mirrors though before she does this. Because of the slight confusion, she then delays changing down gears and almost stops at the roundabout when it's clear to the right. She also gets a minor for this, for progress, undue hesitation. But overall, personally, I think she did quite well here, as this roundabout often confuses people because they need to read the road markings to realise it's not a standard roundabout. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit. If the sat-nav says this, do not assume it is following the road ahead. As you can see by the sign here, second exit is off to the right. The examiner is kind enough to help Sarah here and advises her the second exit is off to the right. Please could you find a safe place to pull up on the left? Mirrors checked, signal done. Sarah slows down, pulls up near the curb, making sure she's not stopping over any driveways or too near any junctions. Sarah then secures the car, handbrake and neutral, and then the examiner says, "Thank you, drive on when you're ready." Mirrors checked, blind spot checked, right signal on, and off Sarah goes. Turning left, first exit is next roundabout. Sarah does well here to avoid being over hesitant, as there is a car on the right that she should normally give way to, but they don't proceed, so she takes advantage of this and keeps going. Sarah notices the keep clear here, but also realises there's room the other side to fit, so she proceeds through. As she approaches the green traffic light, she gets a minor as she slows down and stops behind the line, despite the traffic light being green. Now, this is likely to be as she couldn't fully clear the junction. However, in this scenario, it wasn't essential to keep the junction clear, as there was no yellow box, but more importantly, she would not be blocking any side road. On the next traffic light, it will be vital to keep the junction clear. As you can see from the footage, there is a side road on the left, so if she's stopped in the middle, she'll be blocking people from turning into that side road or people merging out from it. You can also see there's a yellow box to reinforce this. Some great examples of good speed choice here. She slows slightly for the traffic lights because they could change. She also slows as there is a fence in the road, making the road narrower and also the van pulling out. She then proceeds past the bus with good speed, anticipating it could pull away at any point. The traffic light could also change at any point. Further down the road we can see the end of dual carriageway sign, which typically means the lanes will be merging. We can see the arrows to confirm this, so Sarah checks her middle and right mirror well, looking for anyone that may be overtaking her. A slightly confusing instruction from the sat-nav. It says turn right and then turn left. Not sure what that's all about, but the examiner does step in and advise Sarah just keep to the left lane at the roundabout and that takes you where you need to go. Would you be ready still with a parked van on the middle of a roundabout? Sarah was. She slows down and then checks her mirrors and proceeds round the van when it's safe to do so, ensuring she gets back to the left lane as she needs to be in the left lane to take her exit. Please could you find a safe place to pull up on the left? Sarah notices a safe place coming up. She checks her mirrors, signals left, slows down and then pulls up near the curb. Having secured the car, the examiner then instructs Sarah to drive on when she's ready. Sarah checks her middle and right mirror and her right blind spot, signals right, and then she's off. After Sarah gives way to oncoming traffic, she does then stall when she tries to pull away. This happens as she doesn't press the gas hard enough. The examiner decides to overlook this and does not mark this. It does, however, have the unfortunate effect of cutting my camera out for a few seconds. Please could you pull up on the left in the long gap coming up here? A minor is given here for move off safety, as there is a delay between checking blind spots and moving away. So at this point, Sarah has checked her right blind spot as well as her mirrors, but as she pulls away, she does no final blind spot check. What would be ideal is to check the blind spot one final time just as you start to roll away. The sat-nav instructs Sarah to turn left at the traffic lights. She notices well the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit change, something many people miss. Sarah maintains a good speed down this whole road, keeping within the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. The sat-nav instructs Sarah to turn left at first exit of the roundabout. She checks her mirrors well, signals left, and also notices she needs to move to the left lane after the bus lane. She does a final check of her mirrors and her blind spot before moving across the left lane. Some great work here. However, when she pulls out into the roundabout, there is a car coming from the right that gets fairly close to her. This is given as a fault for Junctions observations. As you can see, the black car gets a bit close, so I can understand a minor. If the black car got much closer, it could have easily been a serious fault. Easing off the gas here shows great anticipation, as the traffic lights could change to amber at any point. This is not being hesitant and driving too slow, it's anticipating what might happen. The vehicles next to Sarah are approaching a traffic light a bit fast. However, this is an example of driving a bit slow. You may have just noticed the national speed limit sign, so the speed limit here is 70 miles per hour. And if we look ahead, there's nothing to brake for. No traffic lights, no roundabouts at the moment, and our lane is quite clear for the moment. So Sarah could have been pressing the gas a bit harder to build speed and catch up to the car in front of her. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit. Remember, if the sat-nav gives this instruction, do not assume it is following the road ahead. But if we look at the road signs here, in this case it is following the road ahead, second exit, for Peas Pottage Services. Good choice to stay in the left lane. Many people think this left lane is left only, but if you look at the floor, you can clearly see there are no markings saying left only. So this means the left lane goes ahead and left. As we go onto the roundabout, we can also see the left lane now confirms it goes for Services Peas Pottage. So the left lane was definitely the correct lane to be in. As we exit the roundabout, we can see the road signs for roadworks. This is where Sarah gets her final minor fault. As she approaches the roadworks, there is one road worker standing in the road, and the barrier is pushed out further into the road than normal. And Sarah gets a bit close to this. This is given as a minor fault for clearance and obstructions. If you watch back the clip, you can see it is because there is an oncoming car. But what Sarah should have done is given way to the oncoming car and then given much more clearance from the road worker. Now on Sarah's mock test video, people are commenting about a few things saying she shouldn't be doing certain things, so I'm going to quickly go over that. One of the first things was her use of the handbrake. Whenever she pulled the handbrake up, she didn't press the button in, so it made a clicking noise as she pulled the handbrake up. People were then concerned that this is wrong as it's going to damage the handbrake. As you can see from the marking sheet here, however, there were no faults marked for handbrake. And on her test, I was sat in the back, and whenever Sarah applied the handbrake, it did always make the clicking noise. I would also suggest look at the YouTube channel, Engineering Explained. There's a good video there showing that if you don't push the button in, it's not going to damage the handbrake. It's perfectly fine to not push the button in. People are also commenting that Sarah is over-revving the gas. Again, if you look on the marking sheet, she was not marked at all for over-revving the gas, so the examiner did not see this as a problem. Because this is a petrol car, you need to be able to press the gas whenever you pull away, otherwise it will stall. If maybe you're used to driving a diesel, it could seem like Sarah is overdoing the gas, but on a petrol it's quite normal.